Hello, my name is Aisar bin Ahmad. Today I'm going to be presenting about linguistic analysis, a lecture by Madam Sugatini Dagalingam. Today I'm going to do analysis based on the article about monkeypox. To summarize, monkeypox is a zoonotic disease that been spreading rapidly toward global. So today I'm going to do the analysis about the word formation process, which is and foremost is the borrowing. The borrowing is the practice of using words from another language is known as borrowing. For example, monkeypox, a zoonotic disease by orthopox virus, result in a smallpox-like disease in human. So based on the word zoonotic, we can learn that zoonotic is based way back at the 1876 from Greek, and then we will be moving on to this also the spread systematic also from the Greek also from the 80s, and then we're going to be moving on compounding. Compounding is a joining of two separate words into one. For example, one of the line is probable and or possible case, age at presentation, mortality, and geographically spread. So the word geographically is two words combined into one. So based on it, based on the compound words is add from the geo and also from the graphical. So you have the geographical, and then moving on to the back formation. So back formation is a process of forming a new words by removing actual or supposed affixes from another words. For example, increased surveillance and detection of monkeypox cases are essential tools for understanding the continually changing epidemiology of this resurging disease, which is from the word understanding, and then the removal or the emphasis is the understand. So moving on to the clipping. Clipping is a reduction of a word to a shorter form, shorter version. So based on the example, which is the name monkeypox originate from the initial discovery of the virus in monkeys in a Danish laboratory in 1958. So from the word originates, and then from the word originate being cut off from the original, which is the originality. So moving on to the acronyms, which is which is a shortened word derived from its original initial of several words. For example, we use the geographical spread of the clades as described by WHO to assign the clade variant. So from the word WHO, which is mean world, which the meaning of World Health Organization. So moving on to the second chapter, which is morphology. So morphology has two type of the morphology, which morpho morphemes, which is the bound morphemes, as morpho bound morphesis are split into two types, which is inflectional morphesis and derivational morphesis. So inflectional morphesis are not used to produce a new word, but to indicate the grammatical function of a word. It shows whether a word is singular or plural, past tense, other tense, and cooperative or possessive. Inflectional morpheses are considered more predictable because there are only eight in the closed set of accepted inflectional morpheses, which include the pluralism as the phrasing the third person singular, the regular past tense, the regular past participle, the present participle, the cooperative, and the superlative. And then we move on to the re- the residual morphesis. The re- the residual morphesis is used to make new words in the language and is often used to make words of different grammatical category from the stem. It is considered lexical because it influences the base word according to the grammatical and lexical class, resulting in a larger change to the base. Derivative morphoses are included are include suffixes like ish, ush, y, and well as prefixes. So morphology description is based on functional morphesis, lexical morphesis, derival morphesis, and morphesis. So based on the example, we can see that there are many type of morphesis. So moving on to the syntax. Syntax is the study of sentence structure, and it interact with other dimensional linguistic information such as phonology, morphology, semantic, and pragmatism. So this is the tree diagram for the syntax based on the example. So we're going to be moving on to the surface and deep structure. Surface and deep structure is a theoretical structure construct that seek to unify several related structure. For example, the sentence Chris wore some shoes and the shoes were worn by Chris would mean roughly the same and use similar words. We're going to be moving on to the structural ambiguity. For example, a result of the recent outbreak, the number of confirmed probable case. So it's mean the word itself has many meanings. So here we have the two example of the meanings. So we are going to be moving on to the semantic that will be presented by my friend Muhammad Hadi bin Ali.
Okay, so right now I will present about the semantic part. Semantic have a lot of part, which is the conceptual versus associative and semantic features and a lot more. So the semantic is the study of the meaning of words and sentences in their simplest form. It finds concern with the relation of linguistic forms to non-linguistic concepts and mental representations to explain how language speakers understand sentences. So the first part of the semantic is conceptual versus associative. Uh, the meaning of this part is that it's known as determinative meaning, which is conveyed by the literal use of a word. For example, the first example is the study was initiated and funded by Bavarian Nordic. So, funded, the conceptual meaning of it is helpful, but the associative, the deeper meaning is like it is easing, kind-hearted, and facilitating. So the same goes to number 2, number 3, and number 4, which all of them has the same conceptual and associative meaning, respectively. And the second one, moving on to the second one, which is the semantic features. The semantic features help us to understand the nature of language. So for example, the word forest, it is animate, it is not a human, it's a living thing, but it's not a female or male. So with this method, we can understand the word better. So just like the second example and the third and the fourth example, it's all the same method. So by doing this method, we can actually understand the word more. Moving on to the semantic roles. Semantic roles is the underlying relationship that a participant has with the main verb in a clause. It has an entity of the human experience, location, source, and goal. So for example, the word we identify 48 peer-reviewed articles and 18 grade literature sources for data extraction. So every part of this word have their own semantic role, which is the agent, instrument, and theme. So we is classified as the agent, identified is the instrument, 48 peer-reviewed articles and 18 grade literature is the theme. So the same goes to the number 2, number 3, and number 4. They all have their own agent, instrument, and theme. Moving on to the lexical relation, the first one is the synonym. A synonym is a word that means exactly or nearly the same as another word. For example, the word calculated is also mean counted, and the meaning of it is determine the total number of a collection or items. So for the second one is pool. Pool, the synonym of the pool is group, which is to collect something in order for it to be used by several different people or groups. And so same goes to the number 3, standardized. It has its own synonym. Number 4, employed. The synonym of it is utilized. Moving on to the antonym. Antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning of another word. So for example, the word is increases. So the antonym of increases is decreases. The second one is fatality. The antonym of it is the leniency. The third one is impactor, and the fourth one is essential, and each of them has their own antonym. The next one is hyponym. Hyponym is the state or phenomenon that shows hierarchical relationship in words. For example, the word since 2003, import and travel related spread outside of Africa has occasionally resulted in outbreaks. The 2003 is classified as the years. The number two is monkeypox, is classified as a virus. Nigeria, United States is classified as a country, and the fourth one, the percentage return is classified as the percentage. Moving on to the prototypes. Prototype is words that have good example, like when a person mentions bird, you would say pigeon, but not a flamingo. For example, Congo, United States, Nigeria, and Africa is classified as a country, uh, while the percentage is classified as the percentage. The Palace Health Research Consultancy is classified as the organization, and all of these virus is classified as the virus, the subvirus. Moving on to the homophones, two or more words having the same pronunciation but different meaning, origins, or spelling. For example, the word was have the same pronunciation as the was, but both of them have a different meaning, which is the was is past tense for first and third person singular of be, while the was is a solitary winged insect with a narrow waist. Same goes to the word for the second example, which is source, the third example for age, and the fourth example, which is risk. All of them has the same pronunciation, but uh, exactly different meaning. Moving on to the homonyms, each of two or more words having the same spelling or pronunciation but different meaning and origins. For example, cases, it has two meaning, which is a particular of a situation, or and the other meaning is object that is used to store things. Same goes to the second, third, and fourth example. Moving on to the polysemy. Polysemy is the coexistence of many possible meaning for a word or phrase. For example, shows, it has two meaning, the act of presenting and a play or stage performance. Um, so a lot of example here. Moving on to the metonymy, the substitution of the name of an attribute or adjunct for that one of the thing meant. For example, manuscript, the meaning is the term is used to refer to all the handwritten document of research. The second one is the standard, and the third one is sheet, and the fourth one is ages. So the last one is the collocation, refer to a natural combination of words that are closely affiliated with each other. The first example is peer reviewed. The second example is human to human. The third example is animal to human. And the fourth example is tenfold increase. So all of this is the example of collocation, which is something that we can actually understand by reading it, because it has something that is special, not like other word, because it has something that is been highlighted, such as the dash mark, and that is the meaning of the collocations. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
So that's all for our presentation. My name is Aisar bin Ahmad, and my friend here is your name, Hadi.
Abdul Hadi bin Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Okay,
That's all from us. Thank you.
thank you.